Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I am back with a review of a book I finished reading recently. It is the memoir of Rakesh Prakash Mehra, the well-known filmmaker. So this book is fairly well produced. It has got lots of pictures you can see, lots of interesting anecdotes told through the pictures. Um, so, most people who know Hindi films would know about Rakesh Prakash Mehra. He made Rang De Basanti, he made Delhi 6, he directed Bhag Milka Bhag, and he also made a movie for Amazon Prime called Tufan, which had Farhan Akhtar. And his first movie was Aks back in 2002 with Amitabh Bachchan. So those who know a little bit about him, you would know that he was an ad filmmaker in the 90s, and then he moved to making feature films. But what I found interesting about this book was that he takes us on a journey uh, from the time he was born in 1963 in Delhi. He grew up in Delhi, initially worked in Delhi, then moved to Bombay. It was called Bombay at that time, sometime around 1990. Um, then he got into ad films, and later on he made feature films. What I found interesting about the book was that normally in a book of this type, you have only one voice of the person narrating his life story. But in this case, they have used a very interesting technique. So, a lot of people who have been part of his journey, from his wife and his kids to his associates to other co actors and co workers, they also come in and they give their perspective of that particular film or that particular incident. So, it gives the book a very well rounded appeal. It's from different perspectives you see the person. Other thing is that a lot of time people seek inspiration from somebody who has done something in life. There's plenty of inspiration in this. So things that I learned about him, and it's very interesting. Bhag Milka Bhag could have been made only by Rakesh Mehra. Uh, you realize it once you know his story. So he grew up in Delhi, in Lajpat Nagar, Punjabi family, which had come from originally from Pakistan, and they had settled down in Delhi. Refugees, as it is called, or people who have come from Pakistan. And he had a nice middle class childhood. He studied at Bluebells and then later at Air Force Balbharti School. Um, Not many people know that Rakesh Mehra was um, a national level swimmer, and he was also part of the national junior team for water polo. He used to train at National Stadium, which is called Major Dhyanchand Stadium now, and it has got great facilities for many sports, including uh, water sports like swimming and water polo. And he was almost selected to play for India in 1982 Asiad Games, which were held in Delhi, as part of the Indian water polo team. He narrowly missed out. So his childhood was spent in Delhi, being very active sports person, and this later on helped him relate to Milkha Singh. Um and Milkha Singh actually his name was mentioned with reverence at National Stadium when he was training. There were stories about Milkha Singh's capacity to train. So yes, he was growing up inspired by Milkha Singh, and himself being a sports person, he when he met Milkha Singh, they immediately bonded on sports. So sometimes in life, you do something growing up in your formative years, and much later it becomes beneficial. Other thing about him is that if you read his story, he never planned anything. It was just that he had a certain passion for doing things, and it led one thing led to another, which led to another. So that's how he ended up being a filmmaker. He never planned to be a filmmaker. So in Delhi, he finished his college, went to SRCC, got admission through sports quota because he was a national level player. studied there, got his graduation. Typical middle class family. He had to work. He started a business, uh, a shirt manufacturing company. He he and his partner, they opened a small unit in Okla, ran it for about 1.5 2 years. Learned a lot of things about business, um, and things like did not work out. Then he took up as a job as a, I think, Eureka Forbes salesman, door to door. For some time he did that, and then some chance encounter led him to get into advertising. He worked for a while in an ad agency. Then he decided to set up a production house for making ad films with a partner, Vikram. So Rakesh Mehra was the producer and Vikram was the director. So Rakesh Mehra was not the director. And sometime in 1991, Vikram opted out, and Rakesh Mehra had to take over the company, and he took it over. And things seemed very bleak because he had no experience of directing. But somehow, people who had seen him work, who had worked with him, they liked his approach to work, because Rakesh Mehra has a approach which is like, he would listen to you. He would do what he wants to do, but he will give you a chance. He'll listen to you patiently. He'll explain things to you very softly, and he would put in all his efforts into whatever he's doing. So this quality actually was noticed by one very prominent advertising professional who was working in JWT, and his name was Abhinav Dhar. He had set up his company. He left JWT, which was called HTA at that time. Abhinav Dhar had started his own company, and he had got a big account, which was BPL Senyo. And they had done created series of scripts, TV scripts, which featured Amitabh Bachchan. And Abhinav Dhar remembered Rakesh Mehra from the production days, and he was very impressed with him. So he called him in and told him that I want you to direct these. And that's how Rakesh Mehra met Amitabh Bachchan. They made those films for BPL, Believe in the Best. You can see them on YouTube. They aired sometime around 95, 96. A series of 4 or 5 films shot in London. Amitabh Bachchan, for the first time, endorsing a brand and shooting television commercials. And they bonded over lots of things. And Rakesh Mehra was invited to make videos for an album which Amitabh Bachchan had done in collaboration with Bali Sagu. It was called AB Baby. So that was in 96, 97. He directed a video called Eer Beer Phatte, which you can see on YouTube. It's a very interesting video. It became very popular. He also directed Kabhi Kabhi song, which was redone by or remixed by Bali Sagu. So that's how his journey continued, and he kept on dreaming of making a film. The first film that he had thought of was Samjhota Express, which should have featured Abhishek Bachchan. It was a film that was close to his heart, but it never got made. Sometime in 98, 99, it got shelved. So Abhishek Bachchan ended up acting in Refugee, which became his first film. But he had a lot of ideas in his mind about a film. And there was one idea that Rakesh Mehra had from the stories that his Nani used to tell him, which was that हमारे अंदर राम है और हमारे अंदर रावण है. So that idea formed the core of us, that within us is Ram and within us is evil incarnate Ravan. So if you watch that movie, it was very well received, though it was not a big commercial success, but it was well received. That was the encapsulation of the film. कि हमारे अंदर ही राम है, हमारे अंदर ही रावण है. Deep philosophical. This film had lots of deep philosophical connotations, and you should watch it if you have not seen it. It's on, I think, YouTube. Then he worked on Rang De Basanti, which was a path-breaking film. He collaborated with A.R. Rahman. Great music, great film. It created tremendous social impact. People became aware of a lot of things. Because of that film, young people became politically aware. They immediately after the film, there was a protest against the murder of Jessica Lal. The person main accused was acquitted by the court. for lack of evidence, but the protest erupted all over India, including Delhi, and the person was then tried again and sentenced. So, and lots of other things that happened around that time. After that, Rakesh Mehra made Delhi 6, a film close to his heart. Great film, but it flopped. Probably it was ahead of its time. And then, and yeah, A.R. Rahman's music is amazing. So if you have seen the movie, listen to the music again. Even after 15 years, the music is awesome. I mean, it really touches you. And then Bhag Milka Bhag happened in 2013. It took him like 3 to 4 years to make the film. He had met, and it's an interesting story about Bhag Milka Bhag. One of Rakesh Mehra's friend, he had come to meet him and he wanted to thank him. So this was around 2008 or 9, and he left behind a book and mentioned that this is Milkha Singh's autobiography, and it was in Gurmukhi in Punjabi. So Rakesh Mehra can't read Punjabi, so he got one person to translate it for him, and he finished it in like one day, and he was so inspired. He called up Milkha Singh in Chandigarh, said that I want to meet you. Went and met him for a day, and they talked, and he proposed to Milkha that I want to make a biopic. Initially, Milkha Singh was not keen, and they talked and they talked, and Rakesh Mehra stayed for 8 days in Chandigarh, and gradually Milkha Singh opened, and they collaborated, and the film was made, and the film made history. It had Farhan Akhtar, which was a very interesting story. Ranveer Singh was to do it, and he was signed up and everything, but at the last minute, Ranveer Singh opted out, and he never gave any reason. And then the search for Milkha began. Uh, Rakesh Mehra had spoken with Amir, and Amir refused. And somehow, one day the penny dropped. Rakesh Mehra and Farhan Akhtar used to train in the same gym. And initially, in Rang De Basanti time, Rakesh Mehra had offered Farhan Akhtar a role in the film, and Farhan Akhtar was not sure that he could act because at that time he was just directing. So, this time they spoke, and they kind of immediately agreed. And then Farhan Akhtar's training was amazing. Like, you'll be surprised to read about the details of Farhan Akhtar's training, the way he immersed himself into the role, and it showed in the film. And then after that, Rakesh Mehra made Mirzaya, a love story, which Rakesh Mehra had grown up listening to, and a lot of love and passion was poured into the film. But you never know, that film bombed, and it broke his heart. But that's the process of creation. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work. And there are a lot of stories about each of his films in this, and all told in a very engaging, interesting manner. A lot of his friendships, for example, he goes into detail of his friendship with Gulzar Sahib, and with Amitabh Bachchan, with Abhishek, with his team of technicians like Vinod Pradhan, with music directors like A.R. Rahman and Shankar Ehsaan Loy. Lots of things in the book, which is very interesting. So if you like Hindi films, if you want to read a good book in this Christmas season, get yourself a copy of this. I can go on and on about the book. There are lots of interesting stories, and this The Stranger in the Mirror, the name, has got a lot of connotation inside. So and it's a very easy to read book. You can simply read it, very like a storybook, and it will leave you inspired. It will leave you in love with the process of storytelling, and it will open your eyes to a lot of unknown aspects of filmmaking. So I hope you like the review. Thank you very much for watching, and I promise you I'll bring you reviews more quickly. My next review would be tomorrow. Thank you very much. This is a book.